I'm Marla with Nine Health, and welcome to today's show of Health Happens. We're here every Tuesday at 11, talking about news and information, talking to experts that really get to the heart of what you need to know for your health journey. And we know that everybody's health journey is slightly different, and so we want to give you the information that you need to make the best choices that you can. And so we are today at the Chocolate Lab. This is the fun one. And we are joined today by Dr. Omid Jaziri. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you got the good one. We're going to talk about chocolate.
Yeah, it's an awesome occasion. I can't complain.
Yeah, now before we get started, I want to let you know that we did last week cover a very important topic about teen vaping. And it is in epidemic proportions. We heard just this morning on the news again that teen vaping has increased. And so we had some really great tips about how to recognize a problem and talk to your teens and things like that. So if you missed it, we were talking last week about vaping, teen vaping, with Tista Ghosh, the state's medical director. And so check that out if you missed it. We're going to take a turn. We're right across the street from East High School today at the Chocolate Lab. And so we are seeing the DPS protest, and so if you hear background noises, that's what that is, right? We're safe and sound in here, and we're going to eat some chocolate later, maybe, if you say it's okay. So as I mentioned, Dr. Jaziri is a vascular surgeon, and he knows everything there is to know about what this food might do to our blood supply, our arteries, our vessels, and how that really is going to affect our overall health.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to talk about that and
Great
chocolate.
topic. And it's Valentine's Day, so, I mean, couldn't be more appropriate.
That's right. We're all getting ready for Valentine's Day, and just every day is a good day for chocolate, if you ask me.
Yes, maybe twice a day.
Maybe twice a day. Uh-oh. We're going to find out if that's okay. So you're a vascular surgeon. You practice at Aurora Medical Center. And you're going to help us understand, we hear in the news a lot that there are some health benefits of chocolate.
Yeah.
But is that really true? You're going to help us understand that. So we've got all sorts of chocolate here. This kind. Ooh, we've got the, right down to the Hershey's Cocoa that spilled in my bag earlier. It was fun. And we've got beautiful chocolates made here at the Chocolate Lab. So these really, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And this is 100% dark chocolate from what I understand. So tell us definitively, can you tell us, is any of this healthy?
Well, so certainly everything is healthy in moderation, but there are some specific benefits to chocolate as it pertains to the cocoa bean. And really, cocoa bean has a chemical called a flavonoid, which is in the antioxidant family.
Okay.
And flavonoids are natural substances that are found in plants. They actually help plants fight disease, and they help them, repair their own damage. And when we eat foods, and whether it's vegetables or chocolate, that's rich in flavonoids, then we get to benefit from those antioxidant effects.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the actual cocoa bean that chocolate is made of has these flavonoids in it.
Yes.
And it's good for us.
Yes, and
there you have it. We're done.
The most common flavonoid in it is flavanol. That's flavanol has other beneficial effects. It helps reduce your blood pressure. It helps increase blood flow to your heart and your brain. It helps make your platelets less sticky, and again,
all good.
All good benefits. Again, as an antioxidant, and going around your body and kind of mopping up what are even more complex chemicals called free radicals that can often damage your cells. Or in the case of cholesterol, free radicals are responsible for having these plaques.
That's the bad stuff.
The bad stuff, the LDL, depositing inside your blood vessels. So
you probably see a lot of patients, right, that are on the other side and have problems because they haven't necessarily eaten the right foods, or maybe it's genetic, but you've probably seen a lot of the problems that people have when they have high cholesterol. What happens to us? Just so we, like a cautionary tale, what happens to us?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I would like people to understand is that some of these diseases are systemic diseases, and while it may affect one part of your body, for example, a lot of people suffer from pain in their legs when they walk, and it can be due to narrowed or blocked arteries. Or,
Okay.
it can affect multiple blood vessels, systems in your body, so your heart, and people can suffer heart attacks or oftentimes strokes if your cholesterol and blood pressure are elevated.
Right. They say that the blood pressure is the silent killer. Is that something you?
Yeah, I mean, cardiovascular disease is the number one killer of Americans.
Yeah.
So I do agree, and while there are other risk factors such as high blood pressure or tobacco use and elevated cholesterol, what we're here to talk about, is really sort of the beneficial effects, and really these plant material, these flavonoids do have beneficial effect in specifically when you're looking at chocolate, even the cocoa butter that is used has 3 different types of what we call these fatty acids. They're oleic acid, stearic acid, and palmitic acid, and specifically to cocoa butter, oleic and stearic acids. While stearic neutral, oleic definitely is a monounsaturated and does have heart healthy benefits. So again, in moderation, there are
So
some
if you
good-
were wondering if there was actually science behind this that we're telling
Yeah.
you, here's proof that there is, right? He knows
Yes.
the science. Wow,
There-
really,
there
really
is there are
great.
definitely good food chemistry and good food science
Yes.
behind chocolate,
Okay.
and I'm sure its benefits have been around for thousands of years, and people smarter than us have been
Yeah.
reaping its benefits. But yes, there are specific.
Now, are there some chocolate that may be better than others? So we were talking before, and I said, well, should I just go ahead and eat this?
Well, I mean, it's up to you, but yes, there are definitely benefits. For example, dark chocolate has more flavonoids and flavonols,
Okay.
and it does have a little bit to do with the processing. Flavonols are also responsible for that pungent taste in chocolate.
So there might be flavonols in here, but there's also a lot of processing and other things, is what you're saying.
Yes, and what I'm saying is it's the processing that removes those good benefits.
Oh, okay.
And
So it might
there's-
not have as much in here as, say, something that's more pure.
Yes, and here we have exactly we have an ounce of chocolate, and this is what we sort of recommend. While there aren't any really good recommendations for how much you should, but a representative would be an ounce of chocolate that we have here. 2 to 3 times a week would be something that wouldn't necessarily be frowned upon.
Okay, so we could maybe get away with eating an ounce of dark chocolate 2 to 3 times a week.
For sure. And again, not all chocolates are the same. For example, if you start adding, a chewy marshmallow middle, or if you start covering it with nuts, while it's absolutely...
Okay, this is the one that you're talking about right now. This has
Yeah,
chocolate
they may be very
almonds.
delicious, but now you're adding added sugars, added
Yeah,
fats,
you gotta look at the
and
label, right?
absolutely added calories
You can
that you
read it.
don't necessarily really
Okay.
would want, and there goes all of your benefits.
Now, you may not know, but what do you think if I had to choose between the nuts or the fruit? Both dark chocolate. This is a test.
I don't know. I think personally,
Maybe
I'm
neither.
a nut individual, and some nuts do have better fats in them, so there's also those added benefits.
Okay,
But
put you on
really,
the spot there.
Yeah, I mean, I like both.
Okay.
I guess I'm
Have a little of each.
yeah, maybe. A little each would be good.
But you want to also look at how processed something is. You were saying that we are here at the chocolate lab, and they make their chocolate right here.
Yes.
And they don't put any preservatives in it, and
Yes.
so that might be better for us.
Yes, I think any food that is as close to the source as possible is good for you, and the as little processing as it involved would be better. For example, our chocolates here, we were told that they're good for 3 days on the shelf and about a few weeks in the refrigerator.
Yeah. That means you have to eat them right away.
Yes,
I don't have a problem with that.
and multiple at a time.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact.
that's right,
More
that's
than
right.
one at a time.
Well, so what else do you want us to know about vascular disease and kind of the benefits of chocolate and how those two kind of things fit together? Is that
Well, I guess if we're looking at sort of chocolate, and it is Valentine's Day coming up. We also want to think about other things that people like to have with their Valentine's meal, maybe some wine.
Oh yes, we love the wine.
And there's always the talk about red wine and the benefits that come with red wine. There's a specific resveratrol is another antioxidant. It's been talked about a lot in wine, and it's found in the skin of the grape.
Oh, actually, the skin of the grape. Okay.
Absolutely, and the reason there's more of it in red wine is because I believe the fermenting process in red wine is slightly longer, and it's more of those chemicals can filter into the actual wine.
Okay.
Than, for example, white wine.
Okay. So red wine does have some flavonoids.
It has antioxidants, and this particular kind has also been shown to increase your good cholesterol, your HDL, and help combat the bad cholesterol, LDL. But like anything else, in moderation, and certainly neither the American Heart Association or the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute really recommend that you start drinking to improve your health and improve your heart. Certainly, there's negative effects of drinking too much. For example, it can affect your pancreas and your liver. It can increase your blood pressure. It can lead to obesity, and certainly violence has been linked to. And never, if you're pregnant, they don't recommend you drink anymore. But again, in moderation, when you're looking at foods, we're looking at Valentine's. Let's keep it healthy. We can get some benefit from it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about having a little bit of joy and decadence actually can help you be happy, and that's good for your health too, isn't it? Isn't it good for your...
For sure. Every day, I think, starting with a good diet and keeping yourself healthy, whether it's through exercise, whether it's through mindfulness, whether it's through the foods that you eat, or your family, those are all great ways of staying healthy.
We have a question.
Someone asked about any benefits to drinking champagne, and it was Lauren. Lauren wants to know any benefits to drinking champagne.
Lauren, that's a great question. I want to know too. Any benefits to drinking champagne?
I think again, I'm sure that the skin in the grapes do have it. I would have to look in the exact fermentation process. As far as I know, the science of it, and again, food chemistry to me is amazing, and how it relates to our bodies.
I can tell you know a lot about it.
Well, I like to eat.
Don't we all? What was funny is when I asked you earlier, thanks Lauren for that question, should I just go ahead and eat this? You told me, well, it depends what else you're going to eat.
Yes,
right? So it's like a whole balance.
Absolutely, and your balance includes your diet, that includes the amount of calories that you, and certainly your activity. If you live a sedentary life, then you probably don't need as many calories as someone, for example, like a postal worker who walks all day long and really can benefit.
Right. So, okay, good. Now is the time we're going to get to choose which chocolates, because we have so many good ones here from the chocolate lab.
Do we have our expert? Can our expert come?
So, Phil, can you help us with this? So this Phil, owner of the chocolate lab, I know for sure I'm not choosing either of these. None of those.
I don't disagree with you.
But of these, we have, this is so interesting.
So yeah, that is Ruby chocolate. It's the newest form of chocolate that is out on the market, done by Barry Callebaut. It is 100% naturally that color. It has it's kind of a little roller coaster of a ride in your mouth. So you're gonna get a little sweet up front, then some sour, then a little berry note, and then it finishes with a chocolate finish at the end.
We've got to try that. Okay, so which one are you gonna try?
I'm gonna go for this one. I really am curious as to how this really tastes. You said this is 62%?
It's a 62%, so it's a semi-sweet chocolate.
Okay, I definitely have to try that.
So that one is filled, so it's got the ruby on the outside, and then it has a dark chocolate and cherry ganache in the middle.
Oh my god, and it's beautiful. Look at that.
There you go.
I'm going to try this. Thank you so much for having us, Phil.
Yeah, thank you for coming
This
in.
is a wonderful, wonderful place, and we've talked a lot about chocolate and the health benefits, and Thank you, doctor, for helping
Thank
us
you.
understand the science behind it.
Happy to help.
Yeah, if you have questions, you can still write them in and we'll go ahead and answer them. But we're going to sign off from the Chocolate Lab. You guys have a great day and a great Valentine's Day. And, you know, a little chocolate in moderation, I heard, is okay.
Yes, absolutely.